you. Thanks a lot, Atulji. It's a great pleasure for us at DAKSHIN to invite you for this second series of workshops that we have planned as part of our continued effort to create a wider Global South community. The idea of focusing on cybersecurity in digital public goods is an opportunity for us to bring forward crucial development challenges and opportunities that digital public infrastructure is proposing, and also the downside of it, which comes in with challenges that emanate for Global South out of several exposures that are both financial, economic, and other dimensions that we are focusing on they bring in. So from that perspective, our idea is to focus today on issues which are there in cybersecurity, which are related to the concerns of the Global South. As you are aware, during India's G20 presidency, India has made a point to focus on digital public infrastructure. And in this, Government of India has tried to evolve a position which is very different from that of the United States or that of the EU, where we have tried to bring in greater advantages of bringing our concerns together for not only reducing the transaction cost and providing access to citizen-centric services which are being delivered, but also bringing in necessary safeguards, necessary measures that are important. This effort of DAKSHIN, the Global South Center of Excellence, to bring forward India's prowess in this area of digital technologies is something that today we are focusing on. I'm extremely delighted that we have a very competent panel today to discuss. This program is also being recorded. It would be transcribed and taken forward in printed format, but recording of this would also be shared with our Indian missions across different countries and time zones for people to absorb. I also very warmly welcome Professor Gulshan Sachdeva, who has recently joined us for leading the work that Mr. Atul Kaushik was shouldering the responsibility so far, and would very much like to bring in the heft, the connect, and also the responsibility of a chief coordinator for DAKSHIN. So I congratulate him for joining in today, and would request him to lead us in the rest of the flow of the event. So over to you, Professor Gulshan Sachdeva.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining. Thank you, Professor Sachin Chaturvedi, for your initial words. And thank you for welcoming me again to this, as I'm new to DAKSHIN, but I'm not new to RIS. I'm not new to academic debates about many issues, including the digital public infrastructure and also the Global South. Today, I'm really delighted that we are having this workshop on cybersecurity in the digital public infrastructure. This, as Professor Sachin Chaturvedi mentioned, this is third in the digital solution, but we also had many other workshops in the health sector and also in the agriculture sector. At DAKSHIN, we are focusing initially on these three areas, and then we'll also be moving into other sectors which have been identified by the Prime Minister earlier, including connectivity, green finance, and also banking, etc. So today we have really solid lineup of expert speakers. So we have only 90 minutes, so I don't want to really take any time to begin. 90 minutes, we have at least 9 or 10 speakers. And then, of course, we also want to keep some time at least for some discussion among the experts, and also if there are certain questions, people those who are participating online. So first, in fact, I would, so if I request all speakers, if you can just, keep your initial remarks to 5 to 6 minutes, then at least we'll have some time for some discussion, if possible. And may I just invite now first, Mr. Anish Kumar, who is advisor with the DPAP. DPA means Development Partnership Administration within the Ministry of External Affairs. And within DPA, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. One deals with the international finance, line of second with capacity building, third you have the grants and aid, and fourth and all our programs and other things which are the heritage, etc. So here, Mr. Anish Kumar, he has a tremendous experience, on the Indian digital public infrastructure, and he has the responsibility within DPA itself. And he has been instrumental in concluding many agreements, particularly in the digital cooperation with large number of countries. So may I invite Mr. Anish Kumar to with initial thoughts about what Government of India thinks, what DPA thinks, and what we can do in global south.
Thank you, Professor. So first of all, I would like to congratulate and thanks DAKSHIN for bringing us together for a very relevant and important topics about cyber security in the field of digital public infrastructure. We know that digital public infrastructures, or DPI, are the basic railroads for any country's economic transformation. Countries like India or Singapore have developed their own digital stack, essentially comprising of three things: digital ID, payment layers, and data exchange layers. Now, slowly, all the DPIs are getting powered by the artificial intelligence. So AI is going to be the fourth layer in the field of DPI. So AI is empowering the DPI, but as well as bringing some new kind of challenges, especially in terms of cyber security for DPIs as well. In a way, AI is good because AI algorithms are very good in analyzing data flow, network flow on a real-time basis. They can identify the threat patterns and even can generate real-time automated responses also. AI large language models are very good in predicting the threat patterns or malicious code patterns and can prevent any kind of likely cyber threats on DPI structures. But then AI also brings in some new kinds of AI generated threats, deep fakes, voice clonings. All these things are now entering into the arena of digital public infrastructures. So, but there are AI tools, open source tools, which can prevent our digital public infrastructure from cyber threats. So, all the new developments that are going to take place in the DPIs have to be incorporate all these kind of AI cyber security tools. As we go on in using the DPIs, one of the byproduct is we generate huge amount of data capital, and these data are various kind of data. We have images, we have voice data, video clips. So, and these data are, by the way, very sensitive, personal. You have your transactions, financial transactions, you have your biometrics going on into DPIs. So, keeping them secure and private is going to be very important. The basic model of data storage in DPI was a DCDR model, where we had centralized server where we used to store the data. Then we moved into federated data structure, where data was stored to the very place where it was getting generated. Then we are moving into the decentralized data structure, open clouds. But still, these sensitive and data privacy concerns are still there with the open cloud system. So slowly, the new technology like blockchain storage system, this technology where the data immutability aspects will protect citizens' sensitive and private data. So in the coming days, in the coming future, blockchain-backed data storage or blockchain-backed ID systems are going to come into the digital field, digital public infrastructure. And not only AI and blockchain, other technologies, emerging technologies also have, they are also adding new dimensions to the cyber security field in the DPI. For example, we encrypt our data, but with the quantum computing, the general, whatever algorithm that we have, probably they are not safe. So we need to have a very quantum safe crypto algorithm for the DPIs so that we can protect the public infrastructure, digital public infrastructure for any kind of likely attacks. DPIs, the upcoming DPIs are also using new technologies like new infrared spectroscopy. For example, when you take the fingerprint, it is not only taking the fingerprint, it is also taking the vein patterns, the shape and size of the finger, so that the verification of your identification is getting more reliable and you are getting more secure from any kind of cyber threats. So apart from these kind of technical solutions that are getting into the DPIs, we also have to look into new security architecture, software security architecture that can also be incorporated for public infrastructure. For example, zero threat model. The traditional model of DPIs are once you have authenticated yourself to the perimeter security, you are into the network and you can approach any node. But zero security model starts with the basic premises that you are suspected everywhere. So anytime you want to access any DPI, you have to start from the scratch. Same goes with the regulation. In the DPI, the regulations have to be incorporated or inbuilt into the software code. Unlike the traditional way of regulations where technology moves ahead and then regulators after that follow the trails and try to catch up the technology. So in the any digital public infrastructure, the regulatory compliance has to be inbuilt into the code so that once you click the moment you click the any DPI app, you are regulatory compliant, then only you will move forward. So these are the kind of solutions which will prevent any kind of likely cyber threats into the digital public infrastructure. So in the government of India, the Ministry of External Affairs is promoting the use of DPI, especially in the countries of Global South. India has also come up with the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which is a very balanced act where you can leave the data either totally free for the commercial use, or you can prevent the data, restrict the data in such a way that the usability aspect of the data is gone. So our Digital Personal Data Act is a balanced act between the usability versus the privacy. So on the government of India side, we are willing to share our experiences with partner countries. We are willing to provide our learning experiences. We are willing to provide our DPI solutions to any partner country who are thinking in those directions, and we're happy to collaborate and cooperate with any partner countries if a request comes. So with that, I will stop here and very keen to listen from other co-panelists and also looking for a very engaging discussion thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anish Kumar. In fact, thank you so much for bringing so much within a few minutes of time which was allotted to you. So you have talked about the use of AI, and then also what really we need to do with the huge amount of data which is going to be created, software security architecture, all the regulatory regime, and also what Indian government's policies are. So a couple of issues are there now, which may I now move into the second speaker, Shri Magesh Ithirajan, is Director General of Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC. Shri Ithirajan has 3 decades of experience in all these things what we have been talking. From hardware to chip design to IP, complete product cycle, etc. Many things. Many things are technical for me, but in fact I'm still learning. from the speakers. So may I now invite Mr. Magesh Itirajan.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, good afternoon to all. Thanks, Dakshin, for inviting me to this workshop. The topic given to me is building secure information system for the government. CDAC has been working on, I'm getting echo, please. Can others mute? From the hall, I think. Okay. CDAC has been working in cybersecurity and forensics for a long time, and many of our centers have been actively involved in cybersecurity activities. It starts from securing the end systems and perimeter security, and it goes on. Most of the time, we try to do a firefighting mode. We get into firefighting, we find a vulnerability, we start to fix it. So there is no upfront thought going into creating a secure system. It's always an afterthought. So now we have methods like blockchain, so which is inbuilt system of continuous audit. Unlike what you do on a 6-monthly audit or a 6-monthly or a yearly audit, we can depend on blockchain, which does the audit by itself and also creates a trail of activity, so that if something goes wrong, we can go back and check that. So a lot of works are happening in these areas: IT audit, OT audit, and industrial control system audit. A lot of work is happening out of CDAC systems, all of our centers. Let me share a few slides so that we can have more discussion on that. Is it visible?
Yeah, now it is visible.
Okay. 1 minute. Right. Okay, so just give a brief about CDAC. We were established in 1988. When India was denied supercomputer, we started designing supercomputer at half the cost, and before time we delivered at that time. And multiple variants of the supercomputer was delivered subsequent years. And today we are at about 12 centers across the country, working on various technological areas, plus recent addition of a COE being set up at MCT Indore. So a lot of interest about what CDAC does, especially in cybersecurity forensics areas. This particular MOU has been signed about a week back, and then we are making active engagement with the MCT. This is our organization structure. We have this governing council, coordination committee, technical advisory, financial committee, and management board, and all the 12 centers being headed by EDs and executive directors. We have close to 5,000 people working different activities. So these are the things: HPC, quantum, health informatics, agri-electronics, cybersecurity, processor development, HPC, processor development, embedded systems, many, what you name it, everything is there. So especially in cybersecurity, we do a lot of work in blockchain, forensics for OT, the vehicle gadgets that go along with the vehicles. We do a lot of cyber forensics activities there. Many tools and systems which can capture the evidence and analyze further has been developed, and many LEAs have started using this for about 10 years or so now. And then post-quantum key generation and delivery, both on the optical level as well as free space communication. A lot of work is happening on that. Cybersecurity essentials like SIM solution, SOAR, honeypot, secure VPN. These are some of the areas. And in critical infrastructure, works are happening in SCADA, testbed, SCADA threat monitoring, and we do a lot of audit in these areas. We do consultancy. We help people get into ISO 27001. lot of contribution in standards. In fact, we published a book which essentially talks about how to do a thorough testing of any device and come out with a report saying that, okay, what kind of backdoor or vulnerability it has got. This book has been published and we got an ISBN number, and now it is being adopted by the testing agencies like STQC, and it becomes a Bible for them to do all their activities. And from the capacity building, we believe that a secure system is not an afterthought. It has to be part of the design itself. So you design by taking security in mind. And therefore, a lot of awareness program is there for general public, and for specific to developers and testers, there are very specific programs. And for CISOs, we have made some specific programs. All of this is coming under Information Security Education Awareness Program. This is a pan-India program. About 100 plus institutes are already involved. They work on different technology verticals focusing on cybersecurity. I think I've explained all of this here also. Yes. These are some of our products that we do. ADAR is Attack Data Set Analysis Repository, Cyber Threat Management System, Honeypot, Darpan Network Management System. This is an automated network discovery, and then any untrusted network, you can deploy this and identify what kind of devices are there and who is contributing to what, and all that can be done. During our G20 meeting, we deployed this solution at Bharat Mandapam, and for the 2 days where it was developed implemented there, we could detect about a lakh scan happening from outside the country, and we are able to avert all that threats across the boundaries. We have managed security services. We offer SOC services remotely for organizations. We have a help desk, which is help us in supporting all our customers. Parikshan, a static dynamic security analysis for mobile. Visualize check is a threat assessment for mobile. mKavach 2, we had our mKavach 1, and now we have an advanced version of that, which goes into mobile devices and help you secure that. Russia National Blockchain Framework, today it's a standard where any stakeholder can come on board and start using that. Intrust is an asset management, monitoring, tracking, security evaluation, and for a zero trust network system. Rakshak is a DNS, secure DNS. Today, we don't know what kind of DNS poisoning is happening when we use other DNS services. So this is one which continuously makes an assessment of all the IPs and ensures they are fully secure. Smart card and biometric based systems, we have our own operating system, which is called Escosta Smart Card Operating System, which goes into the driving license that we own today. So these are some of our forensic software, mobile check, a CDR analysis tool, which we call as Advic. We lift forensic image from the Windows machines. Live forensics, we do photo examiner. The other products like Imager and True Traveler, these are hardwares which can be taken by law enforcement agencies to the crime scene and lift evidences, and subsequently do the analysis later on the spot or to the labs. Web Investigator. Ghost is a very interesting product. So it uses the elliptic curve to get a very optimal encryption key so that it is uncrackable. Deepfake detection systems, tag analysis, one work which is done out of our Kolkata center. So I mentioned about this, the Darpan network management system, which does the network discovery and then helps you secure your network and switches and systems. Along with this, we can integrate IPS and IDS, including the SIM SOC and source solutions. All that is possible. These are all our customers. JN Test Bombay, Madhya Pradesh, Shata Vidyut, that is the utility company. Multiple of them, CDAC Noida Center, MHA, Project 22, Goa Port Trust, RCI Hyderabad, Punjab. These are our customers who are already using our SIM SOC solutions. So these are the forensic software and hardware. This is a kiosk where the officer can come, load his images, and then start doing the analysis. These are our managed security services. We do remote management from our Trivandrum center. So we give all these consultancy services like audit, incident response, malware analysis, dark web. We have an extensive collection of dark web data, and we offer that to the law enforcement agencies. So Haryana State ERSS, these are some of the kind of DRDO, NIC, DMRC, NELIT, ICER, IOCL, most of the data centers are part of this. These are our services under the audit categories: infrastructure, IES audit, service, mobile audit, compliance audit. So this is the information security education awareness program that I talked before. So the more than 100 institutes across the country, they work in various technology domains. They are formed as different clusters, and a lot of students and industry work on this area. The idea is to promote awareness about cybersecurity as well as build capacity and develop secure and resilient applications and solutions. So this I think I covered. Next generation security. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Rajan, for introducing CDAC and the work what you have been doing in cyber security area. I'm sure this will generate a lot of interest among participants here, and in fact, we'll be sharing with all our partners in the Global South. I'm sure some of them would be looking into some of the solution which your organization is providing. Mr.
Thank you.
All right. So now quickly, then we can move to our third speaker, Professor Krishna Kumar Balaraman. He's faculty in the strategic and public policy area at the School of Management and Entrepreneurship at IIT Jodhpur. And he's also affiliated to the Institute's Center for Technology, Foresight and Policy. And he's also responsible for the corporate governance area at the SME. So may I now invite Professor Krishna Kumar Balaraman.
Yeah, good evening. I hope our voice is clear. Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. I will quickly share a PPT so that I can run through what I wanted to say. The topic which I'm broadly trying to address is the realm of cyber resilience and in the cyber physical system, CPS. Before we move on, maybe we all of us know the context in which we are living today. There is a lot of networks which are online, and we have experienced multiple threats across the world, not just in India. For example, the Bombay power network was under stress a few years ago. So the South African ports, supply chain network was a problem. And more recently, maybe, which was not nearly a cyber threat, but there was huge amount of flight disruptions when one of the cloud service went down. I mean, in that sense, we are in a state where it is not just a malicious kind of threat, but also a possible mistake which can bring whole systems down. To bring a context, what is a cyber physical system? Again, it is a systems include engineered interacting networks, highly interconnected, integrated, contains both analog and digital components sometimes, and a wide area of healthcare, emergency response, traffic flow management, manufacturing, defense, homeland, and it's there everywhere. And of course, it's got a few more names, but largely this encompasses a very large network of everything from IoT to user devices and organization networks, the core network, so to speak. And it also has an element of computation and interacts with the physical world through sensing and actuation. So, or a mistake on the systems are just not abstract. They also have very real physical consequences in terms of obstructed flow of passengers or supply cut, and also increased cost to the consumer. So there are actual physical implications for these networks being compromised. And why do we call cyber resilience? Cyber resilience basically looks at continuity of business. Doesn't matter what the reason for perhaps network coming down is, its ability to continuously deliver the intended outcome despite adverse cyber events. And I'd also like to say this, it can also be not necessarily adverse cyber events, but also in some sense non-cyber events, adverse non-cyber events like floods, fires, tsunamis, and bunch of stuff. And there can be, and so, cyber resilience as we see it today as a shift from cybersecurity alone in terms of it wants to be fail to save, build security from within, it's want multi-layer protection, and also ensure business delivery. And business delivery also includes services, public services to the organization, to public, and especially in the context of India, where we are so much reliant upon UPI at this point of time, and the digital health stack coming in, a lot of common people are really depending on these DPIs, digital public infrastructure, to support them, and the network behind them needs to be very safe. To quickly, I've also I've taken the help of current literature to help make the points. So many of the figures here, as I have given the references there. So if anybody's interested, you can go and look it up as well. But again, everybody knows the network layers. This can be at multiple levels of compromise, right? From the physical and data link level to absolutely to the application levels and session levels. The compromise can come from various ways. And the cyber physical attacks can be of multiple varieties of eavesdropping, denial of service attack, stealth, disruption, jamming, man-in-the-middle attack, zero-day attack where very few people know the vulnerability and it's exploited by some people, data injection. And as I said, one of the reasons is also from within the organizations where the manual errors actually make the systems go down, as was recently exhibited in the cloud services and our airline. Many of the airlines really went down. And anecdote was I was there that day, and after a long time, I actually got a handwritten boarding card and a handwritten luggage tag there. So very interesting times because we are so used to getting everything automated. And as I said, it's not just not the abstract level, but also the physical level impact. We have smart cities. The future of cities is highly interconnected, be it in terms of urban mobility, be it in terms of services, energy services, water services, and also financial services. More and more, we are going into a phase of autonomous vehicles, drones, public transport, and drones are just not. Drones also now are acting as platforms, floating platforms for hacking systems or creating for spoofing, and they are also used just not for delivery and attacks. They're also used for cyber attacks right now. There is a lot of physical element to the attack, even though the attack happens maybe at an abstract level in terms of the network, the digital world, but the attacks can come from an extremely physical entity. For example, people use USB port very liberally everywhere. Then the one thing about USB port is both also charger and also data transfer agent. So if they're spoofed ports, there could be a great danger for people who are using it, especially in airports. And if you're using an organizational device on a spoof port, that almost becomes the it becomes the easiest way to get into a system. So there's a lot of points where attacks can happen, and that leads us to the path of least resistance, which is reducing paths. So the cyber physical systems are exposed to multiple devices and platforms. Of course, users who actually use it and use their application, the supply chain in terms of people who give them devices, and also whether how far the supply chain the partner is logging into the system or interacting with their core system. Within the organization itself, how people are ready. Is it just an CSIO element, or is his whole organization, including the CEO, tuned in to understand what cyber resilience can be for the organizations? And of course, multiple service providers who can actually bring down system both even if inadvertently. So some of the cyber technique methods are actually, from an organizational point of view, requires a question of anticipate, and hence there's a lot of scenario building required front in terms of what could be the possible ways a system can be compromised, both from adversary or also a natural adversary. For a CPS system, and It requires an organization-wide approach, and there are multiple resilience techniques and have further nuanced approaches to that as well. Response can be adapted to evolving situations. There can be constant analytical modeling. There will be contextual awareness of from where devices. So to end, I think to highlight a few of the elements in the short uh, uh, opportunities which organizations have right now to ensure cyber resilience is actually use an AI-based digital twin model technique with real-time data, which can actually sniff out attacks based on past patterns, because AI can be very good in looking at pattern matching and pattern-based attacks and how it can detect it. So that is one major approach which can be adopted among many of the very fundamental approach at the physical level is keep cyber and non-cyber resources. How do you reduce the dependencies or try to keep it at the minimum, differentiate between mission critical and non-critical services, and also try to have systems which can rapidly recover. So I will with that I would like to end my presentation. In the short time I hope I've been able to cover some important aspects of cyber resilience in the I think in CPS. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Raman. I'm sure we'll come back to the very important points you have raised during your presentation. I'm just changing slide sequence of the speakers because we also have a couple of speakers from the Global South. And since, we have Mr. Isan Lotfi, he's the Chief Strategy Officer from the Royal Institute of Strategic Studies from the Kingdom of Morocco. He has some other engagements, so I'm just bringing him because we invited him at 5:30, so he gave us time of 5:30, so we are already crossed the time. So I'll come back to other speakers in a minute once I finish with Mr. Lotfi. So may I invite Mr. Isam Lotfi? He's an expert in the field of strategic intelligence and holds the position of Chief Strategy Officer at the Moroccan think tank. And his CV is very long, and he has been participating and he is involved in so many other activities there. I don't want to take time because I don't want to take this time. Later on, perhaps I can introduce many other things about him as well. So may I invite Mr. Isam Lotfi for his short presentation.
Everyone, do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to participate in the proceeding of this seminar organized by DAKSHIN, which is dedicated to reflecting on the issue of cybersecurity in public digital infrastructure. So, presentation highlighting the efforts made by the Kingdom of Morocco in this field. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate the organizer for choosing this vital theme, especially in the context of the exponential development of digital technologies, which has accelerated the growth of the internet and shaped an increasingly expansive cyberspace. This technological exponentiality has profoundly transformed our contemporary lives by influencing how we think, produce, work, live, communicate. Has also abolished geographical boundaries by establishing global connectivity, making information and knowledge more accessible than ever, while making cyberspace in turn more vulnerable. Indeed, between 2015 and 2022, the cost of cyber attacks rose from $3 to $8.4 trillion, according to the World Economic Forum. Attacks are increasingly being used to destabilize adversaries or to commit fraud. These are fostered by the development of the internet worldwide. This is why state actors and companies must develop cybersecurity systems to defend against cyber attacks and protect their information system. Ladies and gentlemen, under the enlightened leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, the Kingdom of Morocco has recently embarked on a digitization project, implementing various programs and initiatives such as Digital Morocco 2030, Digital Morocco 2020, and more recently, in this year, Digital Morocco 2030. However, while digitalization offers numerous opportunities, particularly in terms of inclusion and development, it also comes with risks to manage, stemming from the evolution of digital usage and associated risks. Uncontrolled digitalization, in fact, creates a fertile ground for cyber malfeasance, which could, among other things, exploit the expanding attack surface to target and disrupt public order or security, the economy, and vital services of a country in general. Aware of these security challenges and to support the digital transition in our country, the Kingdom of Morocco, under the leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, has chosen to respond appropriately and comprehensively. So since 2011, it has been on the path of strengthening its national capacities for information system security and consolidating digital trust. In the same year, 2011, the Kingdom created a general structure, which is baptized the General Directorate for Information System Security, which is attached to the Ministry of National Defense. Its mission includes, among others, the coordination of interministerial efforts related to the development and implementation of the state strategy for information system security, conducting security audits for the information system of public administration and organization, establishing in collaboration with all departments a monitoring system to detect and alert on events that affect or may affect the security of the state's information systems and coordinating necessary action in this regard, organizing training sessions and awareness-raising actions for public administration and organization staff, monitoring technological trends to anticipate developments and propose necessary innovation in information system security, assisting and advising public administration, organization, and the private sectors in implementing security systems for their information systems. In terms of a governance mechanism, Morocco also established in 2020 a strategic committee for cybersecurity. This body is responsible for formulating the state strategic direction on cybersecurity. It is chaired by the Minister in charge of National Defense Administration and includes the following members: the Minister of the Interior, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Economy and Finance, the Minister of Industry and Digital Economy, the Inspector General of the Royal Armed Forces, the Commander of the Royal Gendarmerie, senior officers of the Royal Armed Forces, the Director General of External Intelligence, the Director General of National Security, the Director General of Information System Security, the Director General of the National Telecommunication Regulatory Agency, and the Director General of the Digital Development Agency. In 2012, Morocco adopted a national cybersecurity strategy and a national directive for information system security, which has been in effect since 2014 for public administration and organization. Ladies and gentlemen, the efforts made, especially in the governance field, made by the Kingdom have enabled it in 2024 to be ranked among the top 25 performing countries according to the Global Security Index, Cybersecurity Index. Despite the Kingdom efforts in this domain, it was targeted by no fewer than 52 million cyber attacks in 2023, aimed at disrupting its information system, according to the national cybersecurity firm Trend Micro Incorporate. To shield itself from the escalating frequency of these cyber attacks, the Kingdom of Morocco adopted this year, in July 2024, a strategic vision for 2030 with the purpose of a reliable, secure, and resilient national cyberspace capable of supporting the country's digital transformation. The 2030 strategy, developed through extensive consultation with various national stakeholders, aims to improve the national governance framework and strengthen the legal and institutional framework in this area, with a focus on the vital importance of human capital in cybersecurity. The strategy also emphasizes the need to increase investment to protect sensitive national information systems and strengthen their resilience. It also demonstrates Morocco's international commitment to establishing peace and security in cyberspace. Specifically, the 2030 strategic vision is built on 4 pillars. The first pillar concerns national cybersecurity governance, reinforcing the national legal framework governing cybersecurity and improving coordination and information sharing mechanisms between stakeholders involved in the protection of digital infrastructure. The second pillar focuses on the security and resilience of the national cyberspace through the establishment of data collection and indicator mechanism on national cybersecurity capabilities to support decision-making, enhancing national capabilities for prevention, management, and response to cyber incidents and crises, promoting the implementation of cybersecurity standards and norms, and strengthening the protection of critical information systems by mapping this infrastructure. The third pillar deals with strengthening the human capital of the public and private sectors in cybersecurity, establishing a culture of cybersecurity in society, and promoting innovation in the field of cybersecurity. The fourth and final pillar is focused on promoting regional and international cooperation in all areas related to cybersecurity. Ladies and gentlemen, in parallel with its action in the field of cybersecurity, the Kingdom of Morocco places also great importance on protecting the privacy of Moroccans in cyberspace. In 2009, it created the National Commission for the Protection of Personal Data. This commission aims to ensure the respect of fundamental freedoms and rights of individuals with regard to personal data processing. Among the tasks entrusted to it, directly related to the sovereignty of national data, this commission is responsible for explaining to economic operators the rules and mechanisms governing the transfer of personal data abroad. Furthermore, this commission conducts legal and technological monitoring, studying and analyzing technological, economic, legal, and societal trends that may affect the protection of personal data in Morocco. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just some insights into the efforts made by the Kingdom of Morocco in the field of cybersecurity and promoting digital trust. I would like to express my gratitude to the organizer for their honorable invitation and to all participants for the attention they have given to my presentation. I wish you fruitful discussion and much success at this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lotfi. It's really very useful for us to know. I mean, you very nicely described all the strategies of cybersecurity, what Kingdom of Morocco they are implementing, for many, many years. And it will be very useful for us at DAKSHIN to study very carefully what other countries in the global south are, the kind of policies they are implementing, strategies they are implementing with other countries in the global south, including India, can also learn from what you are doing in Morocco. And I had a real privilege of visiting your country many times, not just only the main cities, but also I went a couple of times to Dhaka as well. All the best, and I hope you'll be able to continue to join, proceedings of this workshop. Thank you so much for participating all the way from Morocco.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now we can come back to our original list of speakers. May I invite Dr. Jatin Patel. He's a director in charge of the School of Information Technology, Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity at the Rashtriya Raksha University. He's a National Security University or National Defense University, and he has, working on many of these areas concerning cybersecurity. And he has also participated in many national, international cybersecurity exercises and also led various cybersecurity projects. Over to you, Dr. Jatin Patel.
Thank you, Dakshin, for inviting for this wonderful webinar. The topic which has been assigned to me, that is securing government IT infrastructure, and it's a very critical part where we are standing over here. As we stand on the precipice of the digital revolution, the protection of worldwide critical infrastructure is not merely a priority, but a global imperative. Each attack on our critical infrastructure could ripple through our economy, disrupt essential services, and erode public trust. So today we call upon policymaker, private entities and citizen alike to unite under a shared mission of fortifying our cyber frontier. With robust policy, indigenous innovation and relentless vigilance, we can create a resilience ecosystem where India's critical infrastructure thrives securely. Here, together, we will transform challenges into opportunities and ensure a cyber security futures for our nation. As our previous speaker, as Mr. Anish Kumar has also mentioned about the importance of artificial intelligence in our critical infrastructure, and Dr. Krishna Kumar has mentioned about the physical infrastructure. So I can say over here now it's time to think not only about the IT infra, that is information technology, but it's time to more focus on OT infrastructure, that is our OT, operational technology infrastructure. There are numerous attacks. Sometime it may be happen. We are not able to come to know whether it's a opened or whether it's an attack or whether it has been any mechanical issue. The reason is that there are some constraints where OT has been tempered, and uh, if I have to say one example, if you have to store the medicine at some specific temperature, let's say below 5 degrees, and if some attacker has performed the attack, he has just compromised the temperature of our air conditioner and is just improved the temperature from 5 degrees to let's say 15 or 20 degrees. He do not need to break any IT infrastructure. He has to just damage our OT parts. So that is one part where we can now it's a time to focus on our operational technology security. Uh, while looking after the both IT and OT infrastructure to conduct of cyber security exercise, where stakeholder gets a hands-on exercise how various cyber attacks disruptive our virtual environment. So over here, I can say the main motto behind while conducting such cybersecurity is to, while performing red team attacks and blue team's defender, various live threats actor can be performed over here, and the stakeholder can get an exercise how such environment can be predicted, and when such cyber attack is supposed to be performing, how it can be mitigated, how it can be prevented in our real environment. So recently, when Rashtriya Raksha University, along with National Cyber Coordinator Center (NSCS), has conducted the NCX, that is National Cyber Security Exercise 2024. So here we have simulated the architecture for blue team and red team activities, where red team has performed various live attacks and blue team was approximately 24 blue teams. Approximately, I can say that 200 stakeholder from the all private and public sector of the India has participated into this exercise. And the main motto of this exercise, they can have a real hands-on experience about the same. Similar, while we should also think about the strategic level exercise when such type of attack is supposed to be performing in our environment, how the strategic level decision should be taken care to mitigate, or what would be the critical decision. Let's say if there would be a decision to pay the ransom, whether we should pay or not, or what type of other decisions, such type of strategic level exercise can also helpful into to prevention of our cyber infrastructure. While looking after the strategic framework to enhance the cyber security in India's critical infrastructure, we should also think about the strengthening government and policies. So we should establish a centralized cybersecurity command like NCIPC, that is National Critical Information Infrastructure, should have an enhanced capability to including real-time threat monitoring and response mechanism. Recently, NCIPC has also launched a National Cyber Security Resilience Framework (NCRF). So through such framework, through such infrastructure policy build-up, we should have a strong collaboration with the various private and public infrastructure of the nations. Mandatory security audits is also one part of our regular audit, like certain is supposed to be performing. Secondly, we should merely focus on building the resilience through technology. We should adopt advanced threat detection system, like as previously had discussed about investment in AI-powered tools to identify and respond to zero-day vulnerability. That would be the one part of our next level of implementation in terms of cybersecurity. Secondly, redundancy and backup systems would be perform very critical part while looking after the security. The next phase, I should be morely say that enhancing capability building, where cybersecurity training program like CEH, CISSP or CISM certification for our cyber security stakeholder should go through. Secondly, collaboration with academia, where leverage research institute to innovate on indigenous cybersecurity tools and strategy would be perform the major roles. Next, encouraging research and innovation along with uh, international collaboration, that would be the major concern, where information sharing with the participation in global threat intelligence platform like FIRST and ISAC has done. Cross-border agreement like collaboration with international government to track and neutralize cyber criminal operation beyond the border, because now the cyber attack is not it's to be considered as a borderless country, borderless world, where we do not have any specific border where we can say that this is the part of India and the other nation. Adopting global standardizing like align with the framework like NIST, ISO 27001, CIS control for consistency and security practices. So through such practices, we should stand like to prevent our global critical infrastructure as well as the nation infrastructure that will help us to build up cybersecurity in the upcoming years. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to speak at this level.
Well, thank you, Dr. Patel, for bringing another dimension to this whole discussion, what we have on cybersecurity, particularly what kind of strategic framework, institutional mechanisms, and also what is, required at the same time, how do we really create linkages of these institutional mechanisms with technology, with academia, and also with industry. It means everybody has to, all these, all these actors have to work together really to create the solid cybersecurity structures in any country, and then of course at the global level. So now the next speaker we have Ms. Smita Sriharsha. She is the Senior Manager, Platform Security Engineering at F5 Network India. And she has over 22 years of experience in product security, cloud and privacy engineering. And she's also a prominent blogger and speaker. She has designed and contributed numerous security education programs. And she has also worked with a large number of companies, with Dell, Cisco, NES, SonicWall, and many, many others. So a huge, I would say, contribution she has made to in the cybersecurity field. We are really eager to listen to Ms. Smita. She has over to you.
Thank you so much, Dakshin, for this opportunity to speak at this event. Very honored to be part of this group. Today, I'm going to cover some of the three critical areas or products which are very critical for the current discussion topic, that is cybersecurity in digital public infrastructure. So we are in the digital world, which is, going towards AI evolution, and lot of disruptive innovation is happening. This also brings in challenges as well as advantages. So specifically in the space of cybersecurity, we are seeing that the attacks are becoming sophisticated day by day, and the same technologies that we use to build the security products are being used by the attackers and the bad threat actors as well. So we are in this era where the traditional ways of securing are not enough, and we are in the era where we need layers of defense to protect our infrastructure from all types of attacks. So with this, I would like to first cover the network security aspect and what are some of the advanced products that are the need of the hour. So as our one of our panelists, Mr. Mangesh covered, and also Mr. Anish Kumar emphasized, we need zero trust architecture, and we need to make sure that our infrastructure and all the applications that are deployed in our infrastructure follow the zero trust principles. As we know that this zero trust principles will not be fulfilled by one product as such. it has to be a combination of multiple products as well as processes, and also considering the compliance aspects of it. So there is a lot of future looking responsibility on the shoulders of the government to protect the digital public infrastructure. However, we have a lot of products that are available that can help us in this matter. So we have advanced firewalls, which are way better than the traditional firewalls, which will come with IDS and IPS built in. Also, they use the latest AI to come up with the newest threats, and threat intelligence is dynamic. So it is important to leverage the modern advanced firewalls and API protection mechanisms that are available. The next aspect in the network security product domain is also network segmentation. As we know, currently, applications and workloads are not deployed in one place. It can be deployed in the data center, it can be deployed in the DMZ, in the public cloud, or in the private cloud. So it makes the ecosystem very complex, and also it increases the responsibility of the people who are managing this infrastructure to take extra care and make sure the network segmentation is in place to overcome the challenges that we have from all the sophisticated attacks. The next point I would like to emphasize, or the type of products we need to be looking at for the modern world, are endpoint security platforms. As we know, we have a lot of devices that is used by government personnel, people at home, and also most of our phones have work-related applications. And also we have a lot of other applications which are holding a lot of private information, personal information, and all of that. And now imagine multiply this data by the population we have in India who are using this. So this also increases the threat surface and also increases the responsibility to protect this data. So to prevent loss of this kind of data and the specific exploits that can happen leveraging the endpoint weaknesses can be prevented by using endpoint detection response solutions that are available. Along with that, it is also important to have anti-malware and ransomware protection softwares built in to all these endpoints that are out there. So these are very, very critical for the success and also ensuring that the data of these is also protected. Also, we have IoT devices that need protection as well, which are often ignored or missed out when we are assessing risks. So these are also one of the things where we need to have better solutions to protect the endpoints. Now I come to the third element, which is the most important element of products that we should be looking at. That is data protection and recovery solutions or products. Why? Because we are in the era where data is the new gold or the new oil, and AI is of no use if the data is not sufficient. So the effectiveness of all the AI is driven by the data that is fed to the AI. So now imagine all the data that is the gold of our nation is breached by maybe by endpoint weaknesses or vulnerabilities in our system. It is going to open up a lot of security concerns, also data privacy concerns for us. So how can we come out of this challenge is using layers of defense. That is, we have a lot of compliance requirements and compliance elements that protect from the perspective of process and policy. Now let's look at some of the technical controls that we can use. Those are end-to-end encryption. Irrespective of it is north-south traffic or east-west traffic, it is must have to encrypt all the traffic that goes in and out of our systems. The next one is secure backup and recovery. We need to be looking at secure backup and recovery, and also we need to make sure the backups are tested and they are tamper proof and they are protected. Also, it is important to have data access governance where we are protecting the critical data and we allow only those authorized users to access the data that is only needed. So also we have additional tools and technologies that we can leverage to protect the privacy of the data and make sure our infrastructure is baked in with privacy protecting technologies and privacy preserving technologies. So these are available and we can use techniques like homomorphic encryption, and also we can use anonymization and other techniques to protect the privacy of the data. Apart from this, as our other panelists covered, we are also seeing the evolution of quantum computers, lot of research is going on in this area, and quantum resistant cryptography is the need of the hour. So it is not an option, but must have that we are testing and making sure that all the encryption technologies are updated and ready for the post-quantum cryptography challenges. And also, we need to ensure that all our legacy systems are also updated and also patched and be ready for the future. That is full of new possibilities, innovation, and also new threats. So with this, I would like to summarize that cybersecurity is a journey. It is not a destination. By integrating these solutions, we can be future ready and face the future with confidence. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Sriharsha. I mean, cybersecurity is a journey and we are learning every day. And the way technology is changing so fast, this journey is becoming much more complicated and difficult. And I think, thank you so much for outlining all the layers of defense, what we really need. And I think you also rightly mentioned that data is new gold now. And everybody is all kind of policies, everybody is trying to see. And the more data you generate, more complications we have how to really save that. So now we have the next speaker, Mr. Hussein Boruba from the Department of ICT, Government of Papua New Guinea. He is the Deputy Secretary Digital Governance and Information Delivery. Over to you, Mr. Hussein Boruba.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of us. I bring you all greetings from Papua New Guinea. We are very pleased to share with you what we are doing in our country. You have to forgive me, it's going up to 11 o'clock at night here. So I'll do my best to get through my presentation. I have a presentation, but I believe in the interest of time, I will just share what we have done, and then I can share a presentation later with you. So in 2019, the Papua New Guinea government assembled and upgraded the department to be what it is today. We undertook digital transformation across all of government. We studied countries in the global south and around the world. We had a look at India, Estonia, Singapore, Australia, and how they did the digital transformation and the cybersecurity approach. So we came up with our first cybersecurity policy in 2021. And then we worked on our digital transformation policy, which resulted in the Digital Government Act in 2022, which gave the Department of ICT the legal mandate to coordinate all of government approach. And that included having a national cybersecurity center. Right after that, we developed a cloud policy, which allowed us to really accelerate much of our work. And then a few months ago, we had our data governance and protection policy, which allows us to how citizens' data is managed and what are the governance framework. And this is the same policy that will allow us to implement interoperability within our delivery. So what we also accomplished was having a government technology stack that allowed us to put governance around how we implement digital transformation. So the top of the stack is essentially our citizens interface, government portals. Sitting underneath those government portals, actual applications, and below those applications are actually building blocks or digital public infrastructure. And then you have your main communication, and then cybersecurity, which is our concern in our conversation, cuts across all the layers of the stack. So just today, we released our digital ID policy for consultation, and anyone in our group today who you are keen to provide your input to our digital ID policy, please visit our website at ict.gov.pg, and we'd welcome any input. We have consulted far and wide, and in our digital ID policy, we have put a tiered approach to onboarding citizens. So Papua New Guinea has a population of around 12 million people, and we hope to scale up to 5 million of them having digital ID by the end of next year. We have started out our digital ID implementation. We're doing it in an agile manner. The policies are testing our implementation, and then we put it out for consultation, and then we get feedback from the community, from the public. So we started out our first launch in October, and we are aiming to scale up to 10,000. It's a pilot, and we implement a decentralized ID approach, where your ID is in the form of a digital verifiable credential on your wallet, on your phone. Now, 95% of the world, including India, are using a centralized approach towards digital ID. So I went to IIITB Bangalore just about a few months ago to the Experience Center, and I generated my first MOSIP card. I was very excited, and that's one approach. And then looked at how you use your e-signet to create a hybrid approach. So we have looked as a global South community into seeing how India has done theirs. We are also throughout the Pacific trying to get everyone to work towards common economic goals and regional benefit. So we have signed a what we call a declaration between all our ICT and digital transformation offices to allow us to work together. So it's good to see my colleague from Tonga Samoa, and Tonga and Fiji, all of us working together to make sure that we support each other on this journey. Coming back to cybersecurity, we found in our implementation that having a very good security being assured, having cloud assurance around hardening one's digital infrastructure is very, very important. So we even got Deloitte to come and audit our CI/CD pipeline and our landing zone to make sure that our practices are well best, so that we could host our service builder and host our digital ID infrastructure on it, on our government cloud. So we are very, very positive. We are currently doing our final fixes, making sure that all our plugins are working. And in our next build, we'll be trying to reach 1 million issuance of our digital ID by mid next year. So this is just an update on where we are. You know, we'd be happy to take any questions or anything. You can contact us on our website, ict.gov.pg. And thank you very much for us sharing our journey and what actions we are taking in terms of cyber in our digital government delivery. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waruba, for for your interest and your commitment. I can now. I didn't know that it is closer to midnight in your country, and but I really appreciate your commitment, and we're happy to learn the kind of work you are doing, and this is also a DAKSHIN. It's very interesting to know how countries from each other, all developing countries. You mentioned about India, Estonia, Australia, and then something, and similarly, a colleague from Morocco also mentioned about, what kind of thing, what they're doing there. So this is what exactly perhaps, we'll try to collect all these experiences from different countries from the global south and see how the better cybersecurity infrastructure systems can be built throughout the global south. So next speaker we have Ms. Sarai Felupolu Devita from Samoa. From the University of Samoa, National University of Samoa. She has worked for 20 years in the ICT field in financial, agriculture, and education sectors. And currently, she is working as an ICT director at the National University of Samoa. Welcome to you, ma'am, Ms. Devita.
Hear me?
Yes, we
Hello?
can. Hello? Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the participants of this workshop. It's 1:41 a.m. here from Samoa, so talofa lava and Pacific greetings. I am honored to be nominated by our Vice Chancellor and President of the National University of Samoa, our Madam Professor Tufisa'a Patila Amosa, to participate as a panelist to share our valuable insights and experiences in implementation of cybersecurity in DPI in Samoa. I'm so fortunate to hear our fellow speakers and our fellow panelists this morning, because it's 1:42 here now. And it's very interesting to hear that there's a lot that we haven't covered, but we have heard of it. But I would like to share what we have, what we went through, especially recently. As you know, that Samoa hosts the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in October 21st to 26th of this year, 2024. And it was very interesting that with Samoa, we took the cybersecurity matter as a priority, and that we have this special team that we invited a Pacific CERT, because recently in 2022, Samoa developed or established this CERT team, Samoa CERT, computer CERT response team, within one of our government ministry called Ministry of Information Communication Technology. And it's good to see Russell here, our fellow from our BNG, and he knows about our CERT, our SAM CERT. So with this SAM CERT, they were working together closely with New Zealand, the Pacific CERT community, as well as Australia, in preparation of Samoa in hosting this CHOCOM. So that's why we have this massive assessment of all government ministries as well as SOEs. And then Australia came in, the Australian government came in and deployed their rapid team comprising of cybersecurity experts. And we were so fortunate to have those experts on island to assist our local IT people, and then establish our security operations center for the CHOCOM. It was a very good experience for us here in Samoa to have that kind of operation. You know, you actually see what is happening with all the type of networks that our government ministries, the venues that are being used at the CHOCOM, and it's good to see the reality of things that are happening, utilizing the resources we have. So from that assessment, we see that there's a lot needs to be done. That this level, the lower level, before we coast the final decision up to the national level. So it was really good that we had that operation. It was a really good experience of deploying cybersecurity measures. We identified the incidents and how to respond to those incidents. It was a good experience for our local IT people. And we see that how importance that we need to prepare to this kind of incident or to this kind of thing, because cybersecurity, it's not something that like I heard one of the panelists say, it's a journey. It's not, you know, take you to a destination and it's finished there. No, it's a journey that it's continuous and it's everyone's responsibility. That's why we've been training and been providing awareness, even the ministry working together with our Samoa IT Association to deliver the training and awareness to our people, because the government will be responsible for the public servants, and the community. That where our civil society can come in, as well as the National University, where we provided a formal education, as well as some micro-credential courses that related to cybersecurity. So all that things that need to be developed and train our people in how to cope and how to bond with cybersecurity. So coming back to our when we have the Security Operations Center for the CHOCOM, we divided into teams and then distributed all those people across to 14 venues. So it was really important to have that collaborative and coordinate people to do this security of operation. So the experience that we got from this, so not only to enhance our government official cybersecurity knowledge, but also establish a national team capable of responding for future events and incidents. So the successful execution of the CHOCOM, so not only showcasing our Samoa's capability to host a significant international event, but also emphasized the importance of cybersecurity preparedness, which I just heard this morning. Very interesting to hear that other countries, they use AI and blockchain, you know, to go together that to help us with cybersecurity. So with that deployment we have with the CHOCOM, our Ministry of ICT, after the CHOCOM, then they came back to the normal operation and start reviewing our national cybersecurity strategy for the next 5 years, because our current one, it's expired in 2 years ago. At the same time, our national ICT policy just reviewed after 5 years, because cybersecurity is like a new thing and it's like a new norm now. Us in the Pacific, because we're going to technology environments with the open internet. So everything's aligned with the cloud cybersecurity is there. So people needs to educate the public servants, the people in the community, all the multi-stakeholders, all the people that are involved, you know, in the ecosystem needs to be educated, needs to be informed of what the cyber threats and what cybersecurity is, so that can be aware and be protected. So that's another good thing we got out from Chocom, so that not only that the Ministry of ICT, but also other ministries involved in the Security Operations Center. So now they went back and reviewed their cybersecurity strategy as well as incident response plan. And that will, I can take our National University as an example. Recently, we just endorse our incident response plan specifically for technology security, because before it was all combined with the physical side. But it was interesting to hear that this morning that the physical security is another important thing. So that's something for us that we need to look at. So I have I can share more, but for that I just want to share the recent event of cybersecurity we have here in Samoa. So I just leave here for a final thought about this matter of cybersecurity, that cybersecurity in the digital public infrastructure is not just a technical challenge, as we know. It is also a governance and societal issues. And we have to ensure the trust from our people, the privacy and reliability of this DBI's infrastructure that requires a multi-stakeholder approach combining technology, policy, and education. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I really apologize for the inconvenience. I didn't realize that it's the middle of the night in Samoa. But I really again appreciate the commitment of all the participants that you have shown, participating here in this particular workshop, and we have really learned a great deal from all the speakers so far. So the last speaker we have Mr. Andrew Lovely. I don't see him joining. If he has joined, he can indicate. No, I don't see him joining. So maybe in that sense, anyway, we have finished our allotted time. So what perhaps we can still extend it. I know that it's difficult for many others in the middle of the night, but we can extend it for just few minutes. If there are any specific questions or comment, do we have any demo? So I mean, may I just open this discussion and bring our colleague Mr. Venkatesh Krishnamurthy, because I'm really thankful for him to putting this whole workshop together. And after listening to all our speakers, do you have any specific couple of points to make and before we move forward?
Thank you, Professor. First of all, I'd like to thank every speaker who's put in so much efforts in preparing their material, sharing their expertise across countries. I'm glad this has been a Global South dialogue as we intended it to be, learning from one another. And one small learning I had from this workshop is that we will try to prioritize international speakers who are ahead of us in the time zone, so that they don't burn their midnight oil in participating in this event. Really appreciate the speakers from Papua New Guinea and Samoa who woke up so late for sharing their expertise. Thank you very much. And I'm not saying goodbye, because this is just one of the series of events that we are going to continue. Look forward to another interesting topic very soon. Most likely in a few months from now, we are going to talk about other aspects of DPI. And I look forward to your participation as well. Thank you very much. Over to you, Professor.
Mr. Atul Kaushik, since you have been listening very carefully all these speakers, is there any specific points you have to make before we kind of wind up?
No, I do not have any points to make. I had a lot of points to learn from very competent speakers, both from India and from Morocco, and the experiences that our friends from the Pacific Island nations are gathering I'm sure it must have been a very exciting time during the Chogam meet, and how the neighboring countries like New Zealand, Australia came forward to help in ensuring the cybersecurity related needs are fulfilled. And it was a smooth affair, and we have witnessed as a participating country how well it was organized by Samoa. On the issue, I just want to add to what Venkatesh said, that we are actually doing a series of seminars. So this is the 7th in the series. We have 3 focus sectors that have been prioritized for now by DAKSHIN: agriculture, health, and digital solutions. So this is the 3rd webinar that we have undertaken under the larger rubric of digital solutions, and we have undertaken 2 webinars each on health and agriculture sectors. Our next webinar is going to be in the agriculture sector in January. We would make an announcement once we have the participants finalized. A lot of our good friends across the global south are heading into their Christmas holidays. So we are contacting them and trying to get their convenience for a good date in January. And thereafter, we will also have one more workshop on the health sector. We have had very good workshops on the general issues of health for the global south, as well as on telemedicine. And we are looking at other issues. So we are very happy that we have several people joining us, not only as participants and speakers, but also those who are listening. And we do not have time for conversations or questions at this moment, but use this opportunity and the emails that we have been exchanging with you to continue this engagement with DAKSHIN. If you have anything to share in terms of experiences or any questions to ask from any of our panelists, please feel free to let us know, and we will connect you with our panelist friends who can respond to your questions and also take this conversation forward towards the betterment of the larger global south. Thank you.
Thank you, Atul. And before I, kind of wind up this whole workshop, I still invite all our speakers, if any particular speaker has, any comment on the presentation by any other speaker, just briefly, half a minute or something. If there's anyone wants to add anything further to what you have said so far after listening to other speakers. Mr. Anish, would you like to add something after listening to our friend from the Global South?
No, very happy to listen from all our friends. Just I would like to highlight one thing. India has a MOU in the field of digital cooperation with PNG and Sierra Leone. And very happy to note from our PNG friends that they are resorting to a different kind of digital ID, which is probably wallet-based digital ID, very different from India. So it would be interesting to know about that. And thanks. Nothing more to add from my side.
Thank you. So just now, first, of course, I'm really thankful to all of you participating in this very exciting workshop. And, this is not really my area. I'm come from the social science, but I learned a great deal. How important this whole area of cybersecurity is. And here, cybersecurity, of course, is a very huge area. But here we are talking about cybersecurity only of the digital public infrastructure. So there are many other things also where you need cybersecurity. And within DPI, cybersecurity also, we are trying to focus more on the global south, because there are also solutions available in the north. But what we are trying to learn from each other here, what are the kind of solutions India has its own, and similarly, we also learn how from Morocco, from many other countries, from Sierra Leone and from the others, how they are doing it. So, there are a lot of things to be learned. And definitely, I think this has given us many new ideas in this field, cybersecurity in digital public infrastructure in the global south. And maybe, in fact, after listening to, some of these interventions, the idea is that, maybe we can also put together some kind of paper which would kind of, bring together different cybersecurity, DPI, national strategies or national institutions are being set up in the global south. And then I think all countries from the global south can learn from each other. And I think, I have learned a great deal from this. I'm sure everybody else has also learned similarly. I mean, some of them are really real experts in this area. So for them, maybe something very, very elementary. For me, it was really great learning the last 2.5 hours. Thank you so much. And I'm also especially thankful to Mr. Anish Kumar for visiting all our Center DAKSHIN and spending time with us during this workshop. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And thank you everyone, and specifically thank you Mr. Venkat Krishnaswamy, Krishnamurthy, our colleague who really worked very hard, and other colleagues, Mr. Akash and everybody else in DAKSHIN for putting this workshop together. Thank you everyone. Good night. Good night.